Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It's time for the final word on Leeds versus Sheff United. Let's get into it. Heard it right. It's going to be Just Joe, and it's going to be all about football. He showed descent. Bamford, it's in!
Yes!
Yes! I don't see many more appearances from Pablo. Fantastic, inaugural guest. I have to pull out the big guns.
And this is the moment when I take a stand. I've got big.
Well, how are we doing, guys? Final word on Leeds versus Sheffield United. It's the morning after, the night before, and Leeds picked up another 3 points against the Blades, a double over the Blades, and possibly the last Yorkshire derby we're going to see in the Premier League for some time, which is a little bit disappointing for me, unless Barnsley can come up. But listen, I don't mind Sheff United. I don't. There's a lot worse Yorkshire teams out there, and I like that they were up there and we were up there. It gave it a 90s feel, but of course they're going down. They've gone down with a bit of a damp squib. Disappointed for them. But look, Leeds United picked up all 3 points. I think that's 27 out of a possible 30 against bottom 7 teams. We've beat everyone in the relegation zone, and ultimately, Leeds, we're 10th, man. We're sitting pretty, The magic 40 points has been hit for those that were worried about relegation. I never was. I was being saying for weeks we could never win a game again and we'd still be safe. But we're over that 40-point mark. I think Bielsa still thinks. I think Bielsa said, oh, no, we're still not out of it yet, but we're out of it. We're sitting pretty, and we've got some exciting games coming up, haven't we? City, Liverpool, Man United. That's what we're in it for. That's what we waited 16 years for. But look, we've got a possible 7 points out of the last 3 now as well. Chelsea in there and 2 wins against Fulham and Sheff United. Great, rich vein of form, and we go into these 3 games really excited. But let's talk about the Yorkshire derby then. Look, we all said on All Leeds TV, we thought it would be tight. We did think it would be 1-0 either way, to be honest. And that was my thoughts. I thought Patrick Bamford would get on it. I know Phil gave us a stat on All Leeds TV saying, every time Pat's scored and assisted in the game, he's then gone on to score in the previous game. Obviously, that didn't happen. And I don't think Pat had a great game today, although we did lose something when he came off, as we always do. He did have an effort. Good save from Ramsdale. I think great ball over from Ayling, and it was on the volley. But yeah, it wasn't Pat's day, unfortunately. But yeah, we scored early. We scored relatively early and had we controlled the game, didn't we? I think Calvin Phillips had an effort where he pressed. I think it may have been Fleck. It could have been Lundstrom. And he had an effort at goal. And when Calvin's pressing and picking it up in them areas so high up on the pitch, that's when you can tell Leeds United have got a real dominance for me. And we did do that. We dominated in the first half, and obviously we get our goal. Dallas had an effort just before that was again saved by Ramsdale. He had one in the second half where it just tipped the top of the crossbar. I thought Dallas was exceptional. Not my man of the match. He was given man of the match, I think, for a large period. But I think for me, Llorente was. I thought Llorente was exceptional. I know all stats aren't we are taking a little bit of flack about Llorente because they weren't really sold on him. And they have caveated it and said, let's see how he does in these next 3. But for me, he's been exceptional since he's come in. He obviously had them periods of injury, but he's looked a Rolls Royce of a centre-back for me. He looks special. I was a bit confused with the lineup because I genuinely felt we would go with a back 3, and I think we did at times, but it definitely started out as a back 4 for me. And they play with 2 up top, so that was quite strange. Because I felt a bit disappointed that Struijk was taken out. Because initially, when the lineup comes out, I'm thinking, right, we're going with the back 3. Ayling's going on the right side of the back 3. Dallas at right wing back, Alioski at left wing back. But it wasn't the case. It seemed to be. It was very much hybridy, wasn't it? It was in and out. Because at times Ayling was playing in the back 3, especially in the second half. But again, I'll leave that to the statisticians. You know me, guys. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed for Pascal Struijk. But of course, Cooper's going to come in. There's a lot of agenda-driven stuff with Cooper. People saying he shouldn't be in there, etc. He's our captain. Bielsa loves him. And statistically, he's our best centre-back this season. So I understand him coming into the side. But let's talk about the goal. It was very, very easy, wasn't it? Dallas was actually involved in that. I think he pressed. It went out to Roberts. Roberts first time into Rafinha. And it was just too easy. He just skipped past Baldock and squared it. I don't know who was supposed to be picking up Harrison, but it was a simple tap in for Harrison. And Leeds go 1-0 up after 12 minutes. And as a Leeds United fan, we always say within the first 10, 15 minutes, you can tell what kind of Leeds are going to turn up. And when we scored within that time, I'm thinking, right, it's rout time. It's rout time. But Leeds United, as has been the case quite a few times this season, we don't take our chances. Although, look, they weren't clear-cut chances, but we were in the attacking third so many times. So many times. It just didn't fall for us into an actual shot. I think Bielsa came out and said we had a lot of attacking options, but we didn't just make that final pass. And that's what it was. You know, we had real dominance. We did create, but not really have any shots on the end of that, if that makes sense. But you know, I thought Roberts was really good. Of course, we're going to talk about that Baldock challenge when Harrison has a chance. I thought he was going to dink it over Ramsdale. Ramsdale made a good save. To be fair, Ramsdale kept Sheff United in the game. He made some key saves for me. But in the lead up to that, Roberts was absolutely two-footed by Baldock, and Baldock should have seen red. I think Baldock comes worse off. He does end up getting substituted a little bit later on. At first thought, I'm thinking he's staying down, so he doesn't get any sort of card. VAR have said it's not a clear and obvious foul, which is absolutely crazy. That's the ref. I think for me, if Leeds don't get a shooting action or a shot on goal after that, the ref definitely blows it up and gives a card. Not even to not even get a yellow is absolutely insane because it's a shocking challenge. He could have really done some damage to Roberts, and it was very brave from Roberts. I thought when Patrick Bamford was taken off, it was the right decision because for me, Roberts was playing really, really well, and that was quite a surprise because we don't normally see Paddy taken off a lot. But yeah, it was a good little ball into Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison tried to get it round Ramsdale, but it was a good save. I want to pick out Osborne. I think he was put on toast so many times by Rafinha. That's why I'm a little bit perplexed why we persist with switching wings. Obviously, Bielsa sees something in the game that means that he changes it up. But for me, we let Osborne off because Rafinha absolutely had him on toast. And I'm wondering if Bielsa thought, come on, I'll give Osborne a rest. He's getting absolutely tortured. Because to be fair, Rafinha had him on toast a few times. I don't think Rafinha was exceptional today, but he got an assist. He did some nice things, you know, on halfway when he's flicking it over, etc. But yeah, we let Sheff United back in. They had one shot on target in that first half, I believe, and obviously it came to a goal. McBurney had an effort. It takes a deflection. It falls to Osborne. Ayling, yes, some might say. I know Oscar said, look, what's he doing behind the line? But he was running back. He ran back into a position. You'd have to have an exceptional quick brain to be able to get back, right, turn right, get on the line, you know. I think it's a bit harsh. Osborne has a shot. It did look in real time like it was cleared off the line, but obviously with the old watch, it was over and it was miles over. And Sheff United are going in, you know, ones apiece. You know, it was an ideal time for them to score. Obviously, Heckingbottom's probably had words. They're really buoyed by that. And I think they had like a couple of minutes early in the first half where we're like, oh, God, it's not one of them, is it? It was very much Fulham-esque for me. But Leeds, again, took control. Great ball from Roberts, by the way. Again, just singing Roberts' praises. Great ball from Roberts out to Harrison. Harrison pillow feet. Absolute pillar feet, took it under, crosses the ball. I think, look, if Jagielka doesn't touch it, probably Rafinha's putting it in. And then we're saying Rafinha's had an exceptional game, aren't we? Goal and an assist. Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't to be. Jagielka now second in the all-time Premier League list for own goals behind Jamie Carragher. Not a kind of stat you want to be involved with. But listen, he is 38 and he's played at the top level for a very long time. So these things are going to happen. 38, I think. Wow. You know, they are on their bare bones, though, as well, Sheff United. And I think, look, the thing is with Sheff United, Chris Wilder got the absolute best out of them. Bielsa gets the absolute best out of Leeds United. I've always said this. Take Bielsa out of that team. We're nowhere near 10th. We are fighting relegation. People would disagree. Obviously, we've added quality. That's another key thing when you look at Sheff United. The buys that they've made are absolutely crazy. They've spent, 27, 28 million on Ryan Brewster. We paid 17 for Rafinha. You know, we're getting Spain's number 9 for the same price they played for Brewster. You know, Rafinha costs less than McBurney, for example. Their spend in the transfer window just hasn't gone well for them, you know, and that's why we have Victor Orta. Victor Orta is an absolute legend in my eyes. But yeah, of course, Leeds go 2-1 up, own goal from Phil Jagielka, and you know, we were dominant again. This is where Bamford had his effort. Dallas had the one that hit the crossbar, but we failed to capitalise on that dominance. It's a common theme, and we can't afford to do that going into the next 3. But I think we'll have a little bit more freedom in them next 3 because they're going to be on top for quite large periods, and obviously we can get them on the counter. I felt we dealt well with a lot of set pieces. I think John Fleck's deliveries weren't great. There was one from a set piece in the second half, but other than that, each corner that he had just hit the first man. I can count on my hand the amount of times Rafinha, Bamford, they were just heading it out from the front post. So not great deliveries. Didn't really capitalise on our weakness because it is our weakness. But yeah, look, happy days. We beat every team down there. That's what we need to be doing. We're 10th. You know, Arsenal lost yesterday, hammered by Liverpool. We're on the same points as Arsenal. You know, we've got 3 very tough games, but get some points from them. And guys, that European conference isn't looking too far away. It isn't looking too far away. And it would be a real turn up for the Bucks. Leeds United have set the Premier League alight with their play. Alan Shearer is waxing lyrical. Everyone waxes lyrical. Fans hate it. I understand it. But it is good. It is good. Leeds United are sitting pretty. Absolutely buzzing. Yeah. Nice Easter. And then I can't wait for next Saturday when we play Manchester City, which is going to be tough, which is going to be very, very tough. But as always, thank you so much for watching the Just Joe Football Show. Please smash a like, share, subscribe. And keep it locked because, as I say, we're going to start some watch-alongs soon enough and get some more content involved. But yeah, thanks for watching as always. Please subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in a bit. Leeds!